Welcome back, ballers. Happy 47th birthday, Kobe. Thank you for the birthday presents tonight. What's up, everyone? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Welcome back, ballers, to another late night episode of Knowledge Pays, this time on Kobe Bryant's 47th birthday. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me on a late Saturday night, wherever you guys are at. We got a packed one for you. Like I always mention, I try to keep these particular streams as short and sweet and to the point. That way you guys can kind of blow through some of the different things that I look at on any given day when it comes to decoding the world of sports and putting out futures and picks and whatnot on my Patreon page. The link is in the description of the video. And once again, as a disclaimer, these videos are not a means to help promote sports gambling, but simply to educate. So without further ado, you guys, the first thing I want to jump into is a story that actually took place yesterday, the day before Kobe Bryant's 47th birthday, if he was reportedly still alive. And I'm going to give a pop quiz to those in the chat. If you guys can see where I'm going with this, I'm going to go slow. But yesterday, the Colorado Sun reported on August 22nd, 2025, that a pilot was fighting a derby fire in western Colorado, and he is okay after crashing his helicopter. This was the day before. This was yesterday, reportedly. And immediately when I think of Colorado, I also think of Kobe. So pop quiz to the chat. Why would I think of Kobe and Colorado? There's something very specific that happened with Kobe early in his career, particularly related to the state of Colorado. And just a reminder too, I haven't seen any comments in the chat yet. So sometimes no news is good news as far as like not getting a thumbs up. So I'll just keep going, but please let me know. Someone pop up. Oh, yeah, there we go. Here's Myron. Yep. The you-know-what case with Kobe Bryant. And where was that trial? Where was that trial held? It was held in Eagle County, wasn't it? Eagle County? Well, that's exactly where this particular story happened. A helicopter pilot working on the Derby fire in western Colorado is okay after crashing Friday near the Eagle County airport while working the fire. And with the screenshot below, you can see here, Kobe Bryant's trial would have been held in Edwards, Colorado in Eagle County, right? Shout out to Joe, not joking to me. I'm very proud of you, Joe, for putting yourself out there and starting your own YouTube channel. So please, you guys, make sure to give Joe some love as well. But this was the first story in the news, you guys. And this was once again yesterday, the day before Kobe's 47th birthday. We have this story in the news in Eagle, Colorado, where Kobe had his other story in the news back in the day, right? You guys might recognize this photo, depending on how old you are, but I certainly remember this story. So keeping it moving, there was a story that happened today. This time in Caseville, Michigan. Look at this, you guys. Timestamped August 23rd. Earlier today, this story is now maybe about 10 hours old. The Huron Daily Tribune reports that no serious injuries after a helicopter crashes near Caseville. So at first I had to look at, well, where's Caseville? I had no idea. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh my God. Now we're talking about Kobe in Michigan. So Myron, if you're still out there, why would I be talking about Kobe and the state of Michigan? Very simple answer to this one. But if you guys haven't caught on by now, I mean, helicopter crashes, Kobe reportedly died in a helicopter crash. Okay. We're also living in the year of airplane and helicopter crashes. I think about the helicopter smashing into the American Eagle to kick off the year back on, I think it was January 29th, just 3 days after the anniversary of Kobe's reported death. Then you had the crashing of the helicopter in the Hudson River. The stories continue. But why Michigan? Well, today, as we're live streaming this particular stream, this is Kobe Bryant's 47th birthday, right? Well, what date did he die? Right? He reportedly died on January 26th. Well, that just so happens to be the founding date of the state of Michigan. So perfect. You have two helicopter stories, crash stories, one before his birthday, one during his birthday. And I just pointed out how the state of Colorado directly connects to Kobe in Eagle County. That's where this story took place. That's where Kobe's trial took place. And then you have this helicopter crash in the state of Michigan, which was founded on Kobe Bryant's death date. Right? So perfect. So diving into the games, once again, congratulations on another sweep to the Patreon members. I mean, this is still unprecedented. This is my 10th sweep this month. And it's kind of laughable at this point. I mean, we're certainly having fun seeing this play out. But segueing into the state of Michigan for a second. I did not catch on to this Michigan story, by the way, before decoding this game. So you'll notice that this particular code, besides the other two I'll share with you, does not really include Kobe. But what you notice here, and once again, these are all screenshots directly shared on my Patreon before games to explain what I'm seeing. And I do my best to try to color coordinate the numbers with the words alongside the records that I'm speaking to. So just notice that with a loss today in Michigan, which equals 64, the Royals would pick up their 64th season loss. Okay, so that's a really simple one right there. And then on the bottom here, I took a look at the Tigers record. And, you know, just knowing about the number 44 in Detroit and Michigan both equal 44. And I noticed that with a win, the Tigers, which equals 78, would pick up that 78th season win. And they would also pick up their 44th home win, right? Doing so on Kobe's birthday, which makes sense because just notice that the Tigers also stayed on 24 home losses. Yeah, Joe, I'm not sure. I mean, there's always news about royalty. You know, you just got to look for it, but nothing that stood out to me recently. But for me, it was all about Detroit and the Tigers record, lining up with Tigers, Detroit, and Michigan, where this game was being played. So sure enough, here's your other 24 example. The Royals lost 2-4 on Kobe Bryant's 47th birthday. Perfect. Now, next, we're going to dive into the two big Kobe games that I saw. The first one didn't have nearly as much value because the Atlanta Dream were pretty big favorites. I want to say about minus 200 on the money line, meaning that you would have to bet, let's say, $20 to win 10. But they won handedly. But just notice here, once again, we're looking at Kobe numbers on Kobe's birthday. So to start, I just saw that the New York Liberty, who were underdogs on the road, they could stay on that 22nd season win, which they did. Basketball equals 22. They could pick up that 15th loss, which they did. Kobe equals 15. So does Atlanta. Notice that all of these are in the same cipher. So that 22-15 record, boom. The other big one was I noticed that also with a loss, the New York Liberty would drop to 8-10 away on the season, which matters because in the Sumerian cipher, where A equals 6, B equals 12, C equals 18, etc., Kobe Bean Bryant, his full name, equates to 810. Not to mention that Kobe Bean Bryant in the reverse Pythagorean cipher equals 81. So 810 can also be interpreted as 81 because in the rule of numerology, the 0 does not count. So you slash that out, you get 81. And don't forget, Kobe Bryant scored 81 points in his 666 career game back in 2006. And like I said, the Dream ended up winning handedly. Notice too, look at this. The Dream picked up their 24th win. They scored 24 points in the first and the second quarters. And then you have a double 15. We were just talking about Kobe in the 15. You guys see that? New York had back-to-back 15-point quarters. And the Dream had back-to-back 24-point quarters. Wow. Huh. So there's that one. And then lastly, you guys, I'm going to share with you probably one of my more favorite codes that I've done in a while. And I sound like a broken record at this point, but this game had everything to do with Kobe. This was the first college football game of the season. The only college football game being played today, and this one was actually in Dublin, Ireland. But I really liked the Cyclones, the Iowa State Cyclones, and I say that for a number of reasons, and I'll explain why. So, once again, today's date, August 23rd, Kobe's birthday, is the date that can be written 23/8 in the majority of the world. And sure enough, in the reverse ordinal cipher, Iowa State University equals 238, matching today's date. So it started there. And I know that there's a lot on the screen here, you guys, but don't be overwhelmed. It's very simple. So I was thinking more about the mascot of Iowa State. They're known as the Cyclones, right? And like we talked about, Kobe reportedly died in a helicopter crash. Well, sure enough, all I typed in was helicopter cyclone, and I found the Sikorsky CH-148 Cyclone military helicopter. That stood out to me because Sikorsky is the same helicopter manufacturer that also made the same helicopter that Kobe crashed in back in 2020. So I was like, oh, okay. Cyclones, helicopter, got it. And all of a sudden, I just started seeing 211s and 47s all over the place. And the way you map, Joe says, the way your mind maps these things are incredible. I appreciate it. So sometimes I know for some people this can be really overwhelming. So once again, I apologize, but that's why I always put a caption with the images that I'm sharing here. So if you read this slowly, I take the time to color coordinate and so you can follow along, then all of these images will make sense for you. Let me full screen this so it's easier for you guys to see. Yeah, Myron, I was meaning to tell you about this, dude. So check this out, you guys. Look, like I mentioned today, if Kobe was still reportedly around, it would be his 47th birthday. He'd be 47 years old today, which is interesting because Black Mamba in that same reverse ordinal cipher that I touched on a minute ago equals 211, which is the 47th prime number. And then where it got really interesting was, if you notice, from the founding date of Iowa State University, March 22nd, big skull and bones number, and we'll touch on that in a minute. Notice that when you measure from the date of today's game to Iowa State University's founding date in 2026, you get exactly 211 days. Perfect. I also touched on the 81s in my last slide. Notice that March 22nd is also the 81st day of the year. So I probably could have stopped here, but I had to keep going. And really in this one, once again, just focus on the main caption of the paragraph that I write out here. As I've said several times now, Kobe's 47th birthday. It was also exactly 47 days before Yale University's founding date. And that matters because skull and bones, the number represented by 322, and Iowa State University was founded on the date written 322. Notice that it was exactly 47 days apart. Wow. So you have the 47 alignment with Iowa State University and with Yale University, where Skull and Bones is founded, not to mention that Kobe Bryant's daughter, Gianna, her birthday is on the founding date of the Bavarian Illuminati, but it's also exactly 3 months and 22 days before Kobe's birthday. I'll just leave that one there. And in closing, what really caught my eye here was that Kobe Bryant's birthday is exactly 209 days after his death anniversary, right? January 26th. Well, that matters because Iowa State Cyclones equals 209 in the simplest cipher. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. It also equals 65 in the reduction or the Pythagorean cipher, which matters because the head coach of Iowa State, Matt Campbell, he picked up his 65th program win with Iowa State. So how perfect. 209 days after Kobe's death anniversary, Iowa State picks up, the Iowa State Cyclones pick up their 65th, the head coach, picks up their 65th win with the program. And sure enough, once again, we can't get away from these 24s. How many 24s did we just touch on already on Kobe Bryant's birthday? And speaking of 24, tomorrow is going to be the 24th, right? Well, how perfect, too, is it that Kobe Bryant's birthday is one day before Kobe Bryant Day, 8/24, the two numbers that Kobe wore in his career. You know, talk about airtight, pun intended. But anyways, you guys, that concludes my presentation. I hope you guys appreciated it and learned something new along the way. Once again, shout out to the Patreon supporters. I know we're having a lot of fun this month, especially with the 10 sweeps going on more, I hope, by the end of the month. So I'm going to close it out there. Joe, Myron, thank you guys for contributing to the chat tonight. I really appreciate it. And please make sure to hit that like and subscribe and the share wherever you guys see fit. I really, really appreciate that support. And Myron, thank you for the compliment. I look forward to our next couple streams where we cover another matchup or episode of Celebrity Deathmatch, as well as a lot of the stuff you and I have been talking about with Portland, Dame Time Lillard, D Rose. I'm already seeing your stories, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyways, I'll keep it there just at the 18-minute mark. So nice, short and sweet. Appreciate it. I will be back on Monday with my boy TJ for our second episode of Hanging Loose on the News. That'll be a fun one. Make sure to check it out. Followed up by Eye to Eye with Rambo, AJ, and Cody on Tuesday. And then we also are going to, Rambo and I are going to be dual guests once again on the Occult Rejects on Wednesday. So we got a packed week. And I hope to see all of you guys there. So until next time, everybody, make sure to take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.